Dr. Abu then became the founding director of the Henry Ford Transplant Institute, the most comprehensive transplant program in the state of Michigan. He remains as the current director. Dr. Abu is the recipient of the Fred White House Career Award of the Henry Ford Medical Group. He is the founder of the Henry Ford Physician Leadership Institute and the past president of the American Society of Transplant Surgeons. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Marwan Abu.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be here and speak in front of every one of you. And I would really hate to be the one slowing your dinner. And I do appreciate Hassan that you asked me to be a keynote speaker. But my commitment was to keep it to 3 minutes or less. So it will be a keynote comment. So one of the things that's always a question is, what to make a comment about in front of a crowd like yourselves? And Hassan asked me to make a comment about practice of medicine during COVID. And it's very difficult to speak about the practice of medicine during COVID, because we all know COVID rattled every one of us, and it shook our confidence in medicine, in society, in life, even our humanity sometimes. So I always like to say, maybe we won a fight with COVID, or maybe we just woke up from a long snooze to realize the value of life, our relationships, the health we have, and be grateful for that. Now, in the hospital, we may appreciate that 70–80% of the hospital was full with individuals who are infected, nurses and physicians who were caring for them without knowing what they're up against. We halted transplant services, so people died while waiting to be transplanted. People died because they had a cancer, they couldn't have it taken out. So it really rattled all of us. But the one thing that is important is to realize is we appreciate also that people do get vulnerable. The staff, families, individuals, society, we realize we have all vulnerabilities that we took for granted. We became isolated, we became lonely, we were exhausted. Some of us got depressed, some people committed suicide. Mental health finally got some attention that it deserved for a long time. And maybe we became wiser after COVID. Our children stayed at home. We all stayed at home. I did not. I was at work and saw it all in action. So my action was the mental health of my employees and the staff and the patients, and developing protocols of how to deal with COVID. So you go back and say, you were exhausted, you were tired, you were depressed in this, but what is the silver lining? The silver lining is we all appreciated the human connection, the value of the relationships we have, and also, just as important, we discovered technology and the value of technology. And one of my most valuable lessons is a simple question. If somebody tells you you got 1 year to live or 6 months to live, how would you spend your time? What would you spend your time doing? All of a sudden, all these big goals and lofty goals you had become very crystal clear. I would want to live the life I want to live. I want to be with the people I love to be with. And I also want to make every moment count, because every moment you have that you spend is a moment gone a minute or an hour later, and you don't get to do it again. And if we remember that one lesson from COVID is that we love the people we love and be with them. We love to be with the community we value, and I'm here tonight. This is my community, and I value my community, so I'm here, enjoying my time with people for dinner. If we remember these things and have a little bit of gratitude and let the kindness dominate and embrace our relationships, then it's a life well lived. Then we learn some good lessons from COVID. And with this is my cue to say thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting NAAMA. And I love to hear more about the next NAAMA, also dubbed Next Gen. Because next NAAMA is next gen, it's the next generation. It's time for us gray-haired people, to pass the baton to the next generation. Do it with pride and courage and be involved. So please, each one of us support Next Gen, because they're the next line in line to lead our community. And they are a treasure for every one of us. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your dinner. It's been great. I just have to add one more comment to Ghassan. Thank you. When Ghassan mentioned to me that I was being given an award, and I'm very grateful for this, but also at the same time, I have to put in a plug. There is so many amazing people in mid and early career that are rising stars and changing the life we live, the environment we're in a positive way. It is time to start recognizing that middle generation and young generation and award them every day and every year for the work they're doing. I will accept this humbly, but please, next time I want to see somebody at least 10 to 20 years younger than I am. So thank you.
On to our next awardee. Dr. Ruba Ali Fehmi is a professor and vice chair in the Department of Pathology at Wayne State University. She is highly achieved on both the academic and community levels. In addition to her leadership roles in multiple national and international professional societies, she is a wonderful mentor to our upcoming Arab American youth. Dr. Ali Fehmi is the immediate past president of NAAMA and the founder and current chair of NAAMA Next Gen. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Ruba Ali Fehmi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you know what? Thank you for your support. Whenever you see a student, I'm counting on you supporting them and being a member of NAAMA and being a mentor of NAAMA Next Gen. And with more, I would say one more quick thing. I would like to dedicate this award to my children, to your children, to NAAMA Next Gen student, to our future leaders. Thank you so much.
Our next awardee is Dr. Safwan Badr. He is a professor and chair, Department of Internal Medicine, and the Liborio Trancaya MD, Endowed Professor of Medicine. Dr. Badr has dedicated his career to serving the underserved through outstanding clinical care, innovative research, advocacy, and educating the next generation of clinicians and scientists. Please join us in celebrating Dr. Safwan Badr.
Thank you, greatly appreciated. This is what it's all about. Together doing all the work of taking care of our patients and our communities and our patients and trainees. Thank you.
I think all this chatter is people asking about dinner, but I just received direct news that proteins are getting sliced as well. Dr. Ahmad Lattouf, Professor of Surgery, Cardiothoracic at Emory University School of Medicine. He is also the Chief of CT Surgery of Tanner Health System. He is the founding president of Academy of Life Sciences. Dr. Lattouf has been an invited speaker at conferences across the globe. He is dedicated to advancement of postgraduate medical education utilizing online learning technologies. Please join me in welcoming our next keynote speaker, Dr. Ahmad Lattouf.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ghassan, thank you for the kind invitation and the honor that you have bestowed on me. Dr. Abu Joud, congratulations on your remarks and thank you for the work you do. Dr. Badr, thank you very much. My dear friend, Dr. Ruba Ali, thank you for the work on NextGen. You have done the impossible and you have succeeded. And Dean Sakar, thank you for all you do for our community. I was asked by Dr. Ghassan to share some thoughts on a topic that we all are tired of, COVID. I'm not sure that I want to hear anything about COVID anymore, but Dr. Ghassan asked me to do so. And I thought I would share with you a few thoughts on how COVID is going to impact the future of medicine, your future, your children's futures, and mine. COVID has been catastrophic for healthcare. Hospitals are going bankrupt. Hospitals are losing hundreds of millions of dollars. There will be more pressure on hospitals. If you work for a hospital, hold tight to your job because you are under threat. There has been staff shortages. Those staff shortages are increasing. We have great difficulty recruiting capable staff. That is not going to lighten up. Encourage young people to go into healthcare, medicine, pharmacy, nursing, etc. The supply chain has been very difficult. I'm building 2 operating rooms in my hospital. We are delayed, and further delayed. Online learning has become part of our life. It will not go away. If there was one advantage of COVID is that online learning has become a reality. And perhaps one of the biggest things that has changed the domain in healthcare is that the major organizations have faced tectonic changes and threats because homegrown small healthcare organizations have become replacement for the major organizations when they all shut down. Those 5 major initiatives will change healthcare forever for the future. Pay attention to them. They will impact each and every one of us. Dr. Ghassan, thank you again for honoring me. Thank you all.
I want you all to look at that corner right there. There's that gentleman standing, Mr. Omar Saeed. He's the administrator of NAAMA, Michigan, and he is the superstar behind this event. On to our next awardee. Dr. Bassam Debabo is currently the Vice Dean for Faculty Affairs and Professional Development at Wayne State University School of Medicine. He has served NAAMA in multiple roles, including publishing several editions of Al-Hakim publications, being CME Director, President of NAAMA Michigan Chapter, and President of the National Organization. In addition to his leadership roles in several local, regional, and national organizations, Dr. Debabo has had a focus on philanthropy, establishing several scholarship endowments at the Center of Arab American Philanthropy, Wayne State University, American University of Beirut, Providence Hospital, International College, and NAAMA. Dr. Debabo was unable to attend today due to travel, and here is his daughter, Hela, to accept the award on his behalf. Let's celebrate Dr. Bassam Debabo. Our next awardee is Dr. Hassan Fehmi. He is the Service Chief of Nephrology and Hypertension at the Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield and Medical Director of Greenfield Regional Home Dialysis. He served as Director of Medical Education at Henry Ford West Bloomfield. He's a member of the Medical Advisory Board of Greenfield Health Systems and a founding chair of the Henry Ford Middle Eastern Employees Resource Group. Dr. Fehmi is actively engaged in several professional societies Dr. Finley. It does appear that Dr. Finley has found the fountain of youth. Our next awardee is Dr. Adnan Qara. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief Clinical Officer at Henry Ford Health System in Michigan. Dr. Qara is responsible for the complete spectrum of clinical operations and academic activities across the health system, ensuring comprehensive healthcare delivery with superior outcomes, enhancing the quality of care and patient safety, and exceeding patient expectations of the overall healthcare experience. He has more than 20 years of experience in leading healthcare delivery in large organizations. Dr. Qara has been on Detroit Hour Top Doctors list for 14 consecutive years, and leadership during COVID pandemic earned him the recognition as one of Crane's 2021 Michigan Healthcare Heroes. He is board certified in gynecologic oncologist with a prolific career as clinician, researcher, and educator. Dr. Qara is currently out of town, unable to attend, and clearly Dr. Abdul is here to accept his award on his behalf.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Munkara. Adnan apologizes for not being here. He's at the AMA meeting, and of course he's the upcoming chair of an important committee serving a variety of medical groups in the United States, so he apologizes for not being here. I'm happy to accept on his behalf.
Our next keynote speaker is Dr. Wael Saqab. Dr. Saqab has been a proud NAAMA member and leader for many years. He is a nationally recognized academic pathologist with seminal contribution in the field of genitourinary aplasia. Since 2000, Dr. Saqab has been elected by his peers nationally as one of the best doctors in America in his specialty and has been on the list of top docs regionally since the survey started in 2005. Dr. Saqab was named Dean of the Wayne State University School of Medicine in the spring of this year, 2022, after serving as chair of the Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine at the school since 2008. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Saqab.
Thank you so much, Aya, and thank you for the board and the president of NAAMA Michigan. Ghassan, you outdo yourself every year with larger crowds, so congratulations. I'm very proud to be a NAAMA member and have served NAAMA in different capacity. I know that the theme has been COVID, not a very cheerful theme, but there are certain aspects that we can probably do something about. As you heard Dr. Abul-Jud, the stress and the mental exhaustion on behalf of many constituencies in the society, but I would say healthcare in particular have been hit very hard. Nurses, doctors, patients, and one constituency that I would like to draw our attention to is what I have been in touch with for the last several months. We don't necessarily think about mental health for our medical students. Many people in this room went to medical school, many abroad, some here. Many of you have your children going to medical schools. The 4-year journey here, and I'm talking about in the US, is difficult by itself. But imagine yourself coming from another state or another city in Michigan. I'm talking right now about our own university, and I want to say our. There are many, many of you who are Wayne State faculty and alumni. Imagine you as a young, in your early 20s, student, coming from another place especially, and living in isolation due to COVID and post-COVID, with very little interaction, away from home, and having to face and pass very challenging curriculum. What I can tell you without being pessimistic is also medical students across the country are facing crisis of mental health needs and needs for support. So for everyone in this room, many of you have kids going to schools. Most of you are mentoring and supervising and evaluating medical students. Please pay attention and keep in your considerations that similar stresses and challenges are faced by these young people who have enough to go through already through a tough medical school journey. It's something that we can do something about, and I believe most schools across the country are engaged in developing wellness programs for their students and their faculty. So again, thank you so much, Ghassan and the board of NAAMA Michigan. Appreciate the invite and enjoy the evening.
Dr. Ghassan, to prevent Dr.